Buffie with Forte Event Marketing here, and happy Earth Day, 50 years strong, and happy Administrative Professionals Day to the Forte team and all of the admin professionals out there. A few more happies before we get rolling. We've got a happy birthday to our social media master and tech guru, Farrah McDonald. Happy birthday, Farrah. And happy second Forte anniversary to Rachel Rodell, our client services director. Happy anniversary, Rachel. And we have a lot to be happy today about, don't we? So I am personally incredibly happy about our special guest today. For those of you tuning in, for the first time, and wondering, who is Forte and what are we doing here today? Forte is an experiential marketing company. We connect with brands to share brand messaging through memorable experiences created in the field by lovely brand ambassadors. And today, one of the most dynamic brand ambassadors has graced us with her presence. Don't be bashful, Bray. She was recognized in the field as a rock star, and more recently is gaining recognition as a very positive influencer online, where her digital presence is definitely captivating. So let's give a big welcome to Brianna Bolden.
Thank you very much.
Yes. So before we get started, how about we announce last week's Quarantini Challenge winner? So last week's winner is Laura Devimes. Congratulations, Laura. $25 cash prize coming your way, and another Quarantini Challenge coming to you at the end of the show. Yes, I know Bray will be sharing the challenge. We're excited.
Yeah.
So last week's connectivity issues gave us a bit of stage fright. So instead of going live, we pre-recorded and posted our segment. However, viewership last week went way down because of that. So here we are. We're back live, and we love the involvement that the live segments bring us. So if you have any questions during the segment for Brianna, please type in the comments below. We'd love to answer them, or she would rather. Great. So tell us, you're quarantining in Orlando, Florida. Is that correct?
Yes, beautiful. And the weather is phenomenal outside. It's gorgeous.
Oh, I'm envious in the best way possible for everything but that shirt. Is that why you're wearing the hideous UCF shirt?
No, stay south.
No, all in fun. But I did have the pleasure of going to the UCF USF game last fall. I have two nephews at UCF. And I'll be honest, you guys crushed us, but I wore my shirt in the student section with pride, and I'll wear it next year.
It's okay, you all get an A for effort.
Oh, so no, all in fun. But so you have been rocking events with Forte specifically since October 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah,
thanks for having me.
Yes. No, one of my favorite parts of the job is connecting with our brand ambassadors. And when you communicate with someone so frequently, you tend to forget that you haven't actually met them physically. But you are one of a small group of brand ambassadors I've had the pleasure of meeting in person.
Yes. And I remember that day. I think it was at Ale House that we met at?
Yes. Yeah, North Warehouse.
I remember that day. I was like, oh no, I gotta get there. I gotta get there on time. And you and your staff, everyone was so wonderful. So wonderful.
Oh, that's so sweet. I remember it specifically. I even tried to find the little picture of you holding up your name. I know. I don't know where it went. I've got it somewhere. I was going to slide it in today. It was February 2017, and I recall you specifically telling me that because we had already worked together, and you said I just had to show up and meet Forte in person, and that so warmed my heart, and we've been working with you ever since.
Oh, thank you so much for having me with your team. I love working with you all.
Oh,
love it. If you all haven't yet, sign up for Forte Event Marketing. They are awesome.
Oh, thank you for the plug, Ray. That wasn't even the script. I love it. Thank you. No, it's great. I love this. It's kind of a blessing in disguise with the COVID situation. It gives us an opportunity to chat and get to know each other. So so we'll go ahead and get started. Why don't you tell us a little bit about who is Brianna Bolden?
Well, I was born and raised here in Orlando. I'm still home. I left and came back. I'm the youngest of 5 siblings from my mom, and the youngest of 5 as well from my dad. So yeah, I'm the baby basically, but I don't get my way. I've always loved like sports growing up, and visual and performing arts. I was always active in school, and I was always a social butterfly. That's one thing people can probably say that has never changed with me. I've always loved talking to people. I used to get in trouble all of the time for talking, all of the time. But yeah, I decided to, get into experiential marketing, and actually at a young age. And I haven't looked back ever since. I'm a mother to a beautiful 2-year-old little boy named Ian. Yes, I've definitely been spending a lot of time with him, a lot more time with him during this quarantine. So like you said, a blessing in disguise, teaching him and just hanging out with him, taking him for walks and playing outside. And then I love to cook, and I'm currently working on my green thumb. Work in progress.
Green thumb I've been working on. I wish I said I like to cook, and thankfully my Italian husband is okay that I don't. We don't, but there's so many great pre-made meals out there, guys.
And you can still stay healthy.
Right, exactly. You might need to share some recipes with me after this, though.
No problem.
So you said that you got into the event world at a young age, and
yeah.
So tell me about how you came to know about the event world, and do you recall? Share with us what that first event experience looks like to you.
Okay, so I want to say I was about 12 years old. My mom was the manager at Kmart. And they were looking for someone seasonal just to kind of hand out flyers, talk to people, model some of their seasonal attire. So Halloween came around, I'll model some of their Halloween costumes. Easter came around, I was actually Easter Bunny handing out little candy eggs and stuff like that to people. But, for $10 an hour at 12 years old, that was a lot of money.
Yeah.
The minimum wage at this time, I think, was like $7.25 or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right? It's hard to think back to that minimum wage is that low, and it's like, I thought I was making bank. So yeah, and I got unlimited ices, so I was happy. I was a happy kid, make some extra lunch money. But I became like an industry professional, I guess you would say, after college. I went to Florida A&M in Tallahassee, and then I decided to move to Jacksonville. And in Jacksonville is where I landed my first legal part-time job as an ambassador. And there, I actually was promoted in like 2 weeks to the program manager. So I had to either sink or swim, and I want to say I did a pretty good job growing that program. But I decided to venture off and learn more about experiential marketing in all aspects. And here I am today.
Yeah, well, we're glad that you did. So you definitely started at a young age. That's awesome.
Yeah.
No wonder you're honing your craft so well, right? So share with everyone, do you work as a full-time brand ambassador, currently pre-COVID?
Yes.
Through COVID?
I've been ever since I have moved to Jacksonville and left Jacksonville, I guess you would say, because I'm in Orlando now, obviously. But I have been a full-time brand ambassador ever since. It's not easy, but I'm doing it because I love it. I really love it.
No, that's great to hear. I know there's a lot of people out there that, that either work as a full-time brand ambassador or maybe don't and would like to. Mm-hmm. So share with them, what are some of the things, and they might already be aware of this, but what are some of the things that make it hard, and what are some of the things that might make it a little easier?
So I think what makes it difficult for the most part is that work is not guaranteed, and you're always searching for work like around the clock. It could be 2 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. If I can't sleep, I'm up looking for work. And I'm sure you know what it's like. Taking lunch breaks while you're working long hours at a gig just to go and check up on Facebook or check different apps or websites as to who's hiring and what opportunities are out there. So that would definitely be the hardest part, the hardest aspect of working as a full-time brand ambassador. But what I think would make it easier, and what makes it easier for me, is staying organized. Every event, whether I get that event or not, whether I'm booked officially, if I'm confirmed or not, I put it on my Google Calendar. Sometimes that can be a little annoying because I do send calendar invites to whoever booked me for the gig. And however, I think it's great to be transparent, to let them know, hey, I'm solidified, I'm confirmed, I'm not going anywhere, I'm not double booking, I'm not canceling. I'm here. A lot of people like it. Other people just don't respond, but I'm going to do it regardless.
No, I think that's a great practice. So I do have to share with everybody that when we coordinated a time to go over this interview to talk about, hey, Bray, would you like to be a part of the interview process and whatnot on this segment? She sent me a Google Calendar. I accepted it. I thought, thank you. Yes, no, I have it on my calendar, but it was super helpful to know you did as well. And I just clicked yes and thank you. So I think probably, can't speak for everyone, but I do think, that even if we don't say yes or accept the invite, I think it's really comforting to know that you've got something on your calendar. I think that is a positive all the way around. And we're human. We all agencies as well need little reminders. So that's perfect. I love it. So wonderful. Well, so there are many brands involved in one event. So there's the brand that you're hired to promote, right? And the brand of the account that you are working at.
Yeah.
Also the brand of the agency you're working with, and your brand. So share with our viewers what building Brianna's brand looks like and how it impacts the opportunities you receive.
Oh God, great question. Well, I always put my best foot forward, no matter what. No matter if I'm working, if I'm not, if I'm just going grocery shopping, I just always put my best foot forward with showing who I am as a person, just being authentically me. I tend to always keep my resume updated, my headshots updated, tracking back to resumes. I update my resume maybe every month, every other month. If I work a new brand or anything like that, it's good looking about it. So I have two different resumes. I have one with a list of all the brands, and then I have a shortened resume as well. I also have a website that I put together. My significant other, he is a web developer, and he's offered to build my website for me time and time again. But I'm a little headstrong, and I wanted to create it myself. I want it to be something that I made myself. So I constantly update my website as well. And I have business cards, because I never know who I'm going to run into. Honestly, I was doing a demo a while back, and I saw these two gentlemen looking at a case, looking at their product. I saw that they were branded. I introduced myself, and lo and behold, a month after that interaction with me giving them my business card, they actually hired me on to represent their brand. Yeah. But I think it helps that I put so much effort into building my brand, because I've received so much feedback, so much positive feedback from agencies and clients saying, oh my goodness, we love that, how you organize your resume. It's easy to find certain brands or certain types of work that you've done. Your website shows your personality, and it showcases your passion for the industry. And people can see that I'm really serious about this industry, that it's not just a side hustle, that this is a full-time thing for me, and that I really, really do take it seriously. So I often have a lot of people who contact me directly. I don't have to go through the long process of sending emails and applying to every single gig as much. But yeah, it's my brand. My personal branding definitely helps. By the way, you all, I have a friend who's doing websites really cheap. I'll post all the information afterwards if you all are looking to get a website created as well.
No, I think that that's great. I think you and I have discussed a little bit that sometimes that's the hardest thing is to know where to start. And I love that you mentioned building your brand because I think, transitioning to that thought process for everyone in the industry that we're all brands. When I was in real estate, it was all about you had a company you represented, but you're representing yourself as a brand. So and like you said, you're reaping the fruits of your labor by people reaching out to you because they know you as your brand. And that can just elevate every type of event, big or small, the brand presence from all angles. So I love that. And I love your willingness to help others get started. Industry strong, right?
Right.
So
amazing. Together.
Amazing. I love it. So with that said, obviously we're providing lots of tips and tricks along the way. So, but share one of the most effective way they can build their brand as a brand ambassador. Is it through the websites you mentioned, or is there something they could do outside of technology to help them build themselves as a brand, market themselves as a brand?
Well, I would say the number one tip I would say is to always remember you're a brand, whether you're clocked in or not clocked in. If you're at the grocery store, if you're home, wherever, talking to anyone. You're always a brand. So you should always go hard for your brand. Always represent yourself the way you want other people to see you. I would say stay organized, definitely. And always read your contracts. So many people sign these contracts and they don't even read through them. Yes, they're long, but you don't want to sign your life away. Read your contracts, keep up with your contracts, and definitely stay organized.
Oh, absolutely. No, that's a good point. I mean, we're all guilty of doing that no matter what type of contract it is, right?
Right.
And there's always a lot in there that even might even show you what the expectation is and making sure that those contracts meet the expectation of you and what you're looking to do, because there's so many types of different opportunities. And I truly believe there's a great opportunity. Every opportunity is different and there's great opportunities for everyone. You just have to find those that work for you,
Right.
Yeah. So I agree. That's great advice.
And then one thing I wanted to add is that people always talk about student mentality, but it really follows you. Like always being willing to learn. It definitely will help you in the longer end, and down along the lines. And I also want to say that people should have a student mentality, but still maintain their brand like they're a boss.
Absolutely. I've never thought about the student mentality way. I've always thought about you can always learn. Like you never stop learning. Like whether it's building yourself personally or professionally. And I love that you touched on like even when you're at the grocery store, because there are a lot of our demos that are in the grocery store, those managers might start to recognize you, but to always learn. I think, I do that as well. I'm watching, for example, the Trusted Her live videos from other agencies. You start to realize, oh, wow, it's nice to hear that some of us kind of are working through some of the same, obstacles and trying to figure it out. And then it's also nice to learn from them as to how they've managed certain things. So I agree that there's always room for growth, and this is a great time for it, right? That's what we're focusing on. If we can't do what we love, which is get out there and staff events, then let's figure out how to do it better. And I love it. So gosh, we'll talk to you all day long, right?
Careful what you wish for.
So we've talked a lot about branding, and of course, I think you and I both believe in building our network as a brand. So whether that be through building relationships at the account level that you're working at, or the relationships with brands, like you've mentioned you've already done, or building a network of brand ambassadors to lean on. Tell us a little bit about your network and how you feel it impacts your success as a brand ambassador.
Yes. I'm all about like building a foundation and staying true to yourself and staying true to your network. I would say like the brand ambassador world, it's a small world. You'll often see yourself working with the same people over and over again. So you always want to just like be authentically you. You don't want to start any drama. You don't want to stir any pots. You want to just always be positive, because that person that might be leading you in this event, you might be leading them in the next event, and vice versa. So you always have to be mindful as to, how you treat people and how they treat you, because you never know. You just never know when you're going to run into them again. But I love staying in contact with all brand ambassadors. Oftentimes I end up in these different groups where the brand ambassador would say, hey, I just saw this job. And I'm like, oh, thank you, because I definitely was not online. I was not looking out for any gigs at this moment. But once you build that network of brand ambassadors and you all have like a mutual respect with each other, they'll also they'll also expose you to more opportunities.
Absolutely. No, that's a great point. I remember when I started as a brand ambassador, there was always a bit of concern that, if you shared too much of the events or whatever, that you might hurt your own opportunities. And I agree with you. I found that, you build that network, there's a lot of opportunities to go around, and some that you can work, some that you can't work, or some that know somebody who's a better fit for, or whatever the case may be. So I couldn't agree more. I love that. And I love that mentality, and that just kind of, again, industry strong, keeps us united, and that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about, you talked about your organization, your networking and branding, but what are some of the other habits that you feel make you successful?
Other than organization, because I could tell you, I definitely keep track of everything. I keep track of what I applied for. If I applied for it, I keep track of it. If I didn't apply, I keep track of it. If I got hired, I did. If I didn't get hired, I keep track of all events. But I also like to schedule time off. So I tend to be a workaholic at times, and I can go like 2-3 weeks, a month straight without having one day off. Well, I can't necessarily do that anymore, especially because I have a 2-year-old who wants to spend time with mommy and play with mommy, and I want to spend time with him too. So one habit that I have is that I try to book most of my events as far ahead as possible. So if I could book a month in advance, I will definitely do that. Before my week comes up, I look at my week and I see how I can get ready for my week. Okay, how many demos do I have? Am I working a trade show this week? Am I working an outside event this week? And I pack my car. I pack my car with all of my event supplies and materials in advance. I actually always have an extra set of pants, shirts, shoes, all that in my car, just in case, because I've had some incidents where the coffee spilled on me or my shoe broke. It happens. You never know what's going to happen. And I always feel like being overly prepared means you're prepared. Just like how they say, oh, if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. Same aspect.
No, I love the overly prepared. It also, and the having the clothes and things in your car, because you shared you work many different types of events. It's also good because, unfortunately in this world, things happen, life happens, and there's last minute cancellations. And sometimes you might be the person that we call begging and saying, please tell me you can help us with this event today. And you're like, great, I've got my stuff in my car.
Right. It's happened. It's happened.
It's personally, I believe it has happened. Speaking from experience. But that's a great habit, being overly prepared, and then being able to be prepared to take advantage of those extra little opportunities that someone like us might throw your way. So that's wonderful. So tell us a little bit about some of your, how some of your habits have changed since COVID. Kind of, what does COVID Bray look like?
Now, I've been getting cabin fever. I don't know about you, but I've been getting cabin fever. I have to go outside at least twice a day, even if it's just taking a walk or standing in my backyard. I have to get outside. But what I've been doing differently is that instead of sleeping in, like many people are probably taking this time to do, instead of sleeping in, if my alarm goes off or as soon as I wake up, I get up. I start my day early. I find something to do if I typically don't have anything planned already to do. There's a ton of free courses that's out there. So I've been definitely taking advantage of all of these free courses and just keeping my brain active. I've been staying active. I'm staying in the forefront of different agencies, staying involved online much more than I've previously been. I'm finally doing stuff that I've been wanting to do for so long. Like I started my YouTube channel a while back, but I didn't have many videos uploaded. So I've been uploading videos and creating more content just to keep me busy and to keep me optimistic about what the near future hoping holds.
Yes, no, absolutely. 100%. I think, yeah, for me, I'm a Libra, I need balance. So kind of keeping some sort of structure helps, keep the focus. I think we're all struggling with something right now because there's so much to adapt to. So that's great, great, great advice. So let's talk about when you're booked on an event. You mentioned, obviously, you're very organized and some of the tips and tricks you do, like getting prepared early. But when an agency books you on an event, you add it to your calendar. What's your next steps? What's your event prep routine for that specific event?
For that specific event, like I said, I check to see, okay, what am I going to be wearing? Do I need any extra materials? Do I need to go to the store and buy anything that I may need for that event? I typically pack my lunch and my snacks the night before. So the only time I'm ever grumpy, so if any of you all see me or meet me in person and you wonder why I'm quiet, because I'm a chatterbox, it's because I'm hungry.
Oh, same.
I get hangry. So that's like one of my top priorities is to make sure my food is packed, or if I have money for food. I used to work with Visit Orlando. Well, I still do here and there at the convention center here in Orlando. And I always remember, like, if I'm going to the convention, to bring my ID, because I may or may not get discounted parking. I may or may not get discounted food. So I always bring my ID with me just in case. But I just try to be as prepared as possible. If I have to present talking points about a specific brand, I definitely either do my research or I study my talking points. I often study my talking points before I walk into the venue as well.
Oh, absolutely. Just kind of do a refresher, especially if you're working with so many different clients and brands, you're probably learning about a lot. So no, absolutely. Having those few key points in your head to be able to roll off. Wonderful. So share some of the biggest lessons then that you've learned along the way that's impacted how you work now.
Ooh. So I would say one of the biggest lessons that I've learned is that eyes are always watching. Like how I said, you're always your brand. You have to, be mindful of yourself, of your brand. Your eyes are always watching. You may be secret shop. You never know. You may run into an owner of an agency or an owner of a specific brand that may want to hire you on. And just the way you carry yourself, present yourself, and how you speak, it may lead to another opportunity. So I definitely am more mindful as to who I speak to, how I speak to them, what I'm wearing. I try not to go to the grocery store all the time in my pajamas, even though I love to. But I always I'm just always mindful. I don't think you can get better than that. Oh, and I always, I never guess. I never guess the answer to a question. Either I'll look it up right then and there, or I'll let that customer know or consumer know that, hey, I don't have the answer to that question. I'll work on getting the answer to that question for you. But I never just throw an answer out there and just guess, because it definitely will boomerang and bite you in the butt.
Right. Yeah, I'm always like, that's a great question. I'm going to make sure that I know that for next time. Validate. Thank you for asking me that. But we're always learning. It circles back to all this personal growth and learning. So, so switching gears a little bit, tell us a favorite aspect of the event industry. Like, what do you love about it?
Oh gosh, it's hard to narrow. It's between having control over my schedule and just being able to interact with people on a regular basis. Like, I love people. I love the good people. I love grumpy people. I love happy people, sad people, because I like to figure out, okay, how can I make an impact in your life? Like, how can I change the course of your day and make it better? But yeah, I definitely love the control over my schedule, because I'm able to accept and reject as I, whatever jobs that I want or don't want. And I love that I can always talk to people.
Oh, those are two great things. Control over the schedule, something we all want.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, an outgoing personality is the one thing we always say, that's something we can't train on. We can give you everything else. So if you love to talk to people, that's the perfect field for you, right?
Right.
So wonderful. So let's say that you are a brand owner and are looking for that special someone to spread brand awareness at an in-store demo or restaurant or bar. Let's say those types of events. So you're interviewing brand ambassadors for the position. What characteristics are you looking for? And what is going to give you that wow in the interview process?
Oh, personality, of course, hands down. You got to have some type of personality. If I had to choose between someone who's smiling and outgoing and not afraid to talk to people versus someone who's really quiet and shy, I'm sorry, but I'm going to choose the outgoing personality because I want my brand to be represented in the right way, and I want that person to not be afraid to speak to any and everybody that's passing by. So personality, the ability to effectively communicate. I often find myself kind of being jumbled up in words and not know how to fully communicate sometimes. But if I was a brand owner, you want someone who can teach people about your brand. You don't want someone who can't communicate at all. And creativity, definitely creativity. In this industry, you have to be creative because every consumer is different. And you have to come in and you have to find out, okay, how can what does this person need? Because there's a reason why they've approached you and why you all are in each other's presence. But why is this person here, and how can I help them? You got to figure out how to make it happen.
We might put that in our training documents. Why is this person here, and how can I help? I mean, that's great, Right. Because especially if you're in an in-store demo where you're shopping, that people might be shopping and they may want to be shopping at that moment, or they may not want to be shopping at that moment. But you can help them with why they're there and brighten their day. Make an impact in that way. So I love that. I should be taking notes over here. This is recorded. I'll just review back. So let's do the same question, but instead of you interviewing brand ambassadors as the brand, you're interviewing agencies like Forte. So what would you be looking for in an agency, and what signifies a strong agency to you?
An agency who's able to communicate my return on investment. They'll let me know, like, hey, this is why you should use us apart from everyone else. This is what sets us apart from everyone else. This is how we're going to help you, not just in the short term, but in the long term. We don't just want, short-term changes, but definitely looking more so long-term, a team that's creative, not afraid to do something different, for sure. And just someone who can an agency that can be transparent with me. Because yes, a lot of times events don't go as planned, things happen. But if you're able to be flexible and just roll with the punches, hey, you got my vote.
Oh, absolutely. Transparency is key. Especially, there's so many moving parts, and everybody's put in place, whether it's you, whether it's the agency, whether it's the store, to kind of effectively make these events happen. And not everybody can be there and be present. So being transparent with the nature of the event and how it all evolves is key. I like that. Yeah, transparency is a big one. So any advice to our brand ambassadors on ways to stay healthy and happy and sane during quarantine? I know you mentioned some earlier, but if you could just give them one other little tidbit on how to remain sane during this process, what would it be?
It would be to stay busy. Definitely get some sunshine. But I think staying busy is like the number one point that I want to hit, because I think what's the quote? How does it go? The idle mind is a place for something. I can't remember right now.
Right. Idle hands leads to there's something. We'll come back. We'll find that one and post.
It'll come over.
commented.
Right. If you know it, comment it, please.
Right.
But learn something new, stay connected with people. Just because you're practicing social distancing physically doesn't mean you can't catch up with everyone whether it's via text, video call. If you're not tech savvy, write a letter, but definitely stay engaged with friends and family. Let me see, because being social, I think it does my soul justice. Watch your carbs. Watch your carbs and watch your sugars, because I get late night cravings, and it's so hard sometimes to say no, to not just go to the fridge. I saw 2 posts. One of them was, if you really want to watch what you're eating during this quarantine, walk around the house in your bathing suit. And okay, do I really need that Twinkie? And then another one was, what did it say? Someone put a note on the fridge or that said, "You're not hungry, you're just bored." Right. Yeah. Reminders for yourself.
I've just had to stop buying certain things. There's no willpower when it comes to the fridge or the food. I just had to stop buying certain things, or I will just eat it till it's gone. Right. So that's very good. Everybody's posting the comments about what it means. I was thinking idle hand leads to an idle mind. And I think, okay, there's a lot of versions. Idle hands make the devil's work. The mind is in place, and in itself can make a heaven of hell a hell of heaven.
Oh, that's deep.
That is deep. Wow.
Where are my keys?
So I think we catch the drift. Yeah. That's awesome.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Effort. I think that's one thing that, if anything, from this social distancing and COVID's brought us, is it'll make us more of a team effort. Let's just help each other out through this. So, so you shared obviously some great advice for both brand ambassadors, as well as myself and agencies. But anything else? Any other advice you want to share with Forte or our industry partners?
I would say you all have been very active online. I love that. I've noticed that a lot of agencies are much more active. They're trying to keep brand ambassadors engaged and keep them optimistic, because this too really shall pass. You have to stay in that mindset that, okay, right now we may not have a bunch of jobs at the moment. A lot of people may not have a job at all, may not have any income, but we don't know what the future lies ahead for us. But I love the fact that you all have been having these quarantini challenges. I think brand ambassadors really should get more involved, because I've been super involved online. And look, now I am interviewing with Buffie with Forte. Yes, girl. But you're doing everything right. I love the newsletter, the email blast that you're still sending out, and I love that you're still engaging with brand ambassadors everywhere. So just keep it up. Keep shining that light.
No, and I'm so glad the visibility that you've had online. We touched on that before, and we're gonna show people what that looks like here in a minute, aren't we? But I know it's just really, just so everybody knows, as mentioned, Bray and I have worked together since 2016. We've always had a great working relationship, but I feel through this, I've gotten to know you better than ever. Just to see your personality shine, because we don't get to physically work with each other. It's hard to see that personality sometimes. And I love it. I love what I see. And I am so excited you put yourself out there, and you're such an inspiration to not only brand ambassadors, but to agencies. You just provide us so much confidence in what we're doing and make us love what we're doing. So thank you. I'm going to stop before I tear.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I know I'm a bit of a crier. So, but yeah, so let's have a little fun now. How about little rapid fire questions just to get to know you a little more? Okay. And so we'll start, since it's the 50th anniversary of Earth Day. Let's start with your favorite eco-friendly brand.
Dr. Bronner's.
Ooh.
Bronner's. Yes, you can use their soaps, their Castile soap, for everything.
Ooh, nice. Yes. How about your favorite eco-friendly practice?
recycling for sure, and energy conservation. So plugging things out when you're not using it, making sure that you separate your garbage from your recyclable goods. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. So obviously we do a lot of adult beverage events. So what is your drink of choice?
Well, I will say, especially during quarantine, I love mimosas, and I've been making like these apple mango mimosas. Oh, it's delicious. Also, I'll drink anything with rum or tequila, but mimosa is my go-to.
I love mimosas, and she doesn't know this yet, but she'll put that in the comments below. We have an office happy hour with our team tomorrow, and I'm going to have to make it. So recipe in the comments below, please.
We'll do.
So is there another fun quarantine drink that you'd recommend that people try at home?
Okay, so don't judge me. But I think the drink is called an Amber Dream. I got some new whiskey recently from Virginia Distillery Co., their Courage and Conviction that was just released this month. And I wanted to experiment. So I mixed that with so I mixed the whiskey with some bold ginger ale. And I didn't have the peppermint schnapps, so I actually just took a peppermint candy and dropped it at the bottom, and it was delicious.
That's how you improvise during quarantine, right? There's going to be some really tasty drinks that come out of this time. So.
Right. It's about to be crazy.
Right? So are we pro or college sports?
College?
Favorite team? Dare I ask your favorite team?
I mean,
favorite type of event to work?
Excuse me?
Favorite type of event to work?
Oh, so it's between like doing like being an in-store demonstrator, like whether it's, alcohol, food, or beverages. It's between in-store demonstrator and trade shows. I love working trade shows.
Yeah. I think variety is fun too. Yeah, I love the variety. Favorite color?
Greens, hands down. Green, hands down.
Purple, if you couldn't tell. What's been the most interesting part of parenting during the COVID quarantine?
Teaching my son how to read. He's a bright little 2-year-old. I actually posted a video a while back of him saying all the planets in order, and he knows little facts. But teaching him how to read is really fun. We've been doing like little puzzles and stuff and coloring. But yeah, we've really been bonding a lot more. I really appreciate this time with him.
Right. Yeah, you'll look back on this time fondly when it's hard to see the light sometimes. That's great.
Right.
So, no offense to me, but what would you rather be doing right now?
Honestly, nothing. Buffy, nothing.
You're right where you want to be.
Right, I'm exactly where I want to be. But honestly, if COVID-19 was not in the picture, I would love to be working an event, of course, even if it's a 10-hour event. And I mainly say like long hour events because usually those are the events where I'm working alongside some of my other brand ambassador friends.
Yeah. Okay, final question. This is a hard one. Forte or Forte?
Forte!
But thank you. Good answer. We love our industry partners. So, guys, Bray obviously has so much to share, and we love sharing with her. So definitely make sure that you catch up with Bray on her YouTube channel, and we're going to give Bray an opportunity to plug away. So go ahead, girlfriend.
Make sure you all check out my YouTube channel, #PromoLife, literally like put the hashtag sign and then write promo life. On my YouTube channel, I give tips and tricks for industry or non-industry professionals. And I also give insight as to what it's like to work as a full-time brand ambassador.
Oh, awesome. So with many of our clients hand selecting the brand ambassadors to rock their events, having the digital resume is a huge competitive advantage. Dale, our recruiting director, will be emailing our brand ambassadors very soon regarding digital resume creation. So there's lots of lemons being turned into lemonade during COVID for sure. So let's take a moment to discuss your digital or virtual resume. I have to come up for air on this one because how creative. It's like, wow. And before we discuss this masterpiece, we need to take a moment to show it off. So be proud, Bray. So come on, guys, let's take.
Hi, I'm Brianna, Bray, Bree, whichever floats your boat, and I'm a full-time brand ambassador, product specialist, trade show hostess, product sampler, event manager, promotional model, health and beauty consultant, barista, mom, and rising influencer. Gotta speak it into existence. Born and raised in Orlando, Florida, I've always stayed busy in sports, modeling, journalism, performing arts, academic clubs, and other extracurricular activities, which followed me through college. While at Florida A&M University, I volunteered, served as our school's newspaper editor, joined the sorority alongside other organizations, and graduated with my bachelor's degree in public relations. After college, I decided to hit the road and move to Jacksonville, Florida. Here, I started searching for some work, and I actually landed my first real part-time job as a brand ambassador. After 2 weeks, I was promoted to program manager. But after a while, I decided to lift my anchor and set sail to gather more industry experience by taking on gig after gig after gig after gig, which has led me to where I am today. But why me? Well, I'm detail-oriented, I'm friendly, I work well independently or with a team. I manage my time very efficiently, I'm great at multitasking, I love relationship building, and there isn't a job that I won't tackle head-on. My engagements with guests are genuine and entertaining. I am capable of providing in-depth and detailed event recaps, making you feel as though you were there. I am able to work long hours while still maintaining high energy and a positive attitude. Above all, I want you to know that I am extremely passionate about the experiential marketing industry, and I don't plan on leaving anytime soon. Feel free to visit my website at breebepromoting.com. My name is Brianna, and I look forward to working with you. And we're switched.
Amazing. We did. We switched it up. Wow. So amazing. So many words, so few words, right? But I would say it's a great time to work on enhancing the resume. And I know I want to know, as many others want to know, how did you come up with the idea and elevate it to that wow factor level?
So I really wanted to, anytime that I'm not super busy, I love to work on my professional development. I'm always working on my resume. I'm always working on my website, but I just felt like it still wasn't showcasing my personality enough. So I was like, you know what about like a video resume? So I looked it up on YouTube, and I guess a lot of people on YouTube call it a resume cover letter. And I watched a few videos, and granted, people did their thing, they did their thing. I wanted to be just a little bit more creative. I wanted to have a little fun with it. So I actually used the Adobe Premiere Rush app. And I just sat here where I'm at now, have some nice lighting, and I recorded myself. When it came to me adding the different creative aspects to it, I did create an outline beforehand, and I already had it in mind. I was like, okay, when it talks about sports, I want to do something with the basketball. When I talk about modeling, I want to do something quirky like I'm modeling, just to show that I can be a little cheesy and goofy, but at the end of the day, that's just who I am, and I wanted other people to be able to get to know me as well, even if they're not able to speak to me on the phone or meet me in person.
No, that's wonderful, because especially in the industry that we are in, where we're not being hired by somebody we're going to work side by side with every day, but we are being hired for our personality and how we can captivate an audience. Being able to share that with the clients ahead of time, like from an agency perspective or whatnot, in a digital form, it is such a competitive advantage. And so I know that Bray shared some tips and tricks, and she definitely loves her technology and all of that. But as we discussed previously, even a 20-30 second resume just showing your personality is something that would have a great impact. So before we discuss that a little further and lead into our quarantini challenge that Bray is going to share with us, I want to take just a quick second. It looks like we do. We want to switch gears here for a second. It looks like we do have a question in the comment section from Bridget Turley. So, do you guys know each other personally? She's been very active on the Spritz segments, which I love.
Online. We met online.
Awesome. See, connecting everybody during COVID. COVID connection, people. So she asked, Brianna, any desire to further your career and move up the ladder from a BA to actually working as an agency or starting your own agency?
Oh, that's a good question.
It is.
I wouldn't mind doing that. I think it would be fun. It's just that even if I did start my own agency, it probably would be smaller, more so because I want to still be out there working in the field as well. But I could definitely see myself owning an agency in the future, but I still want to work out. I still want to work and be out in the field with other people.
Being in the field, yeah. No, and that's you're so good at it. So definitely know that you'll leave the field anytime soon. But yeah, so that's a great question, Bridget. I love that. And I love that she said, then hire people like me, just like me with your passion. How cute.
You're right, Bridget. I got you.
First hire. You've got your first person to hire, right? So great. So circling back to this digital resume, and as mentioned, something that Dale's going to be reaching out to all of our brand ambassadors about assisting in creating and being able to work on that competitive advantage during the downtime, at least. Let's have you share our quarantini challenge with us today.
All right. So this week's quarantini challenge is to create your own digital resume. If technology isn't your thing, don't sweat it. It's okay. Your video resume is all about showcasing you and your amazing personality. So just be authentic, whether it's 15 seconds, 30 seconds. If you just want to introduce yourself, it doesn't have to be anything super fancy. All that matters is that you get it done. You can simply just use your smartphone like I did as well. Make sure it's stable. Make sure your lighting is nice because you want to be presentable, and just smile and be you. You can email your entries to gigs@forteeventmarketing.com. If your video is too long, feel free to just upload your video to YouTube and send them the link to your video. If you need any help, feel free to reach out to Forte or reach out to myself. Let me know in the comments if you would like for me to create a video giving more tips and tricks as to how you can create your video resume. And 2 lucky winners will be selected to win some money. And everyone gets to have their own digital resume. So boom, it's a win-win.
Absolutely. Yeah. As mentioned, we're going to reach out to all brand ambassadors about creating one. It's a great way to market yourself. But yes, today it's an extra incentive. 2 lucky winners will receive $50 each. So let's see those resumes. We're super excited. Yes. So, and also don't forget the viewership challenge. Like our page, share our post, make sure it's public. And we'll announce the winner of our viewership challenge on the next segment, Wednesday, and send $25 your way. So remember, tune in weekly on Wednesdays. We will remain live at noon Eastern for our next edition, and we'll have another quarantini challenge at that time and lots of great info. And all quarantini challenges this week received by Monday will be entered to win. So thank you so much, Ray, for taking time out of your day, sharing so much good insight with agencies and brand ambassadors and just the world. Make sure she'll leave her comments, she'll leave her tags and everything in our comment section below, so you can definitely make it easy to find her. I think she's a good resource for just about everyone. So thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye, everyone.
Bye.